afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, amazing, riveting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane. Master Propaganda, your Lord and Master, God Emperor of Mankind, off here to our 1 vs 1 on Westwall. In the west, we got TheTaxman with Breakthrough, Elite Armored, and Fortifications, Triple Infantry, versus in the east, we got C19 with Urban Defense, Shock Rifle, and Mechanized Support with Triple Infantry as well. Both high-ranked players. TheTaxman, I think, is around top 30-40 with the Oberkommando vest. Wait, we got double Fortifications Student Pioneers there. Double conscripts for C19, so he's going for a conscript build versus the Oberkommando. A bold and a brave move here, though definitely not a bad one. It does just require a bit more good handling of the conscripts there. As for TheTaxman, we got double Fortifications out there. No sign of doctrines yet here for either player, but somewhere by a crumbling fortified line on the eastern front, probably in the Baltics. We got the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps with C19 and TheTaxman forming up the 11th SS Panzergrenadier Division Nordland, holding the Panther line. I think it was called. That was the Gothic line. There's many lines there, can't quite remember them. There was also one that was called the Hitler line, but I think that was in Italy. Heading for the southern munitions here, heading centrewards and northwards as well. Sandbags up here by the fuel point. Ultimately down there, 3rd Conscript Squad on the way there for C19. In the Baltics, you had several of, shall we say, the volunteer SS units. You had the Scandinavian Nordland, you had the Belgian, or the Flemish there, SS unit. You also had the Dutch one as well. Plus, you had a lot of the Baltic SS legions. I think there was a total of 3 of them. I think 2 were from Estonia, 1 I think was from Lithuania, was it Latvia? I can't quite remember actually that one. But basically full SS of Waffen-SS Grenadier divisions. Full there as engineers. Lots of counter there for C19. Academy of Value for TheTaxman. He's obviously worried about, scout card, but with a heavy conscript build there, that's not obviously going to happen there. So in this regard, TheTaxman there basically goes off what a third player would normally go for. And of course in that case you want the Academy of that, but he obviously wasn't just expecting a lot of conscripts. Like Academy was going to be a bit of dead weight for now versus C19. That could give C19 a bit of a tactical edge here in the early game versus TheTaxman. Jump Panzers engineers in the south, quickly gutting them down with the assault rifles. I've got to call it a Sturmgewehr. That was like, great job there, Dane. Sturm Panzers engineers here. Conscript be flanked here by the Sturm Pioneers, maybe. More filters out there for TheTaxman, and we got a kind of thing. Northwood is obviously going to just use to grab territory while the rest of the forces do the actual fighting. More filters out there for TheTaxman and the 11th SS Panzergrenadier Division in Nordland. Initially, most of the Scandinavian volunteers have been in the 5th SS Panzerdivision Viking, but that was upon apparently made a decision to make that one German or Germanic, and so they switched towards the 11th. Well, most of them were. There was still some sort of hanging around in the 5th even then. Fortifications conscripts here. Sandbags up there. See some cut-off point here, though with the centre victory point being held some other points, he's actually not managed to cut off the fuel there from C19. Digging in there by the carve point. Not a bad move there at all by C19, though he might consider more sandbags for something a little further down the road. No take-up yet for C19. They should prioritise getting something going there soon enough. Hitting more carve points there. Very good work there by TheTaxman. If he can't get the fuel, he's obviously not going to allow his opponent to have that fuel either. So nice work there by TheTaxman, doing at least what he can for the time being. Back here, reinforcement. No healing yet, no sign of a truck either. Concentrating in there, Petzo's trying to get away. North of Kednev is just seizing more territory. Fighting for the car front here, Conscript versus Fultz Grenadiers. Truck on the way there for TheTaxman. Heading southern fuel, and we got the sun mission having ceased as well. So while C19 controlling most of the centres, obviously recently dug in, it's TheTaxman is just trying to move around the edges, the periphery, and try and wear down C19 on getting find a good chance to push through. I'll wait truckers out there. I'm guessing it's going to be Battle Group headquarters. Then again, it could be easily mechanised actually. I mean, if you had 4 Fultz Grenadiers, mechanised would make, I think, more. Or Battle Group head would make more sense. With just 3, he could go mechanised. Might be well. C19 by the way, going for shock rifle, an interesting choice there, not one you see a lot. Although this overall be seeing more and more usage nonetheless, but I'm not described as the most popular Soviet choice. No, he does actually go for the battle group headquarters. Colour me mildly surprised, though only mildly. Fortifications conscripts here by the cemetery in the east. Lekedner, if they've managed to grab the fuel point. Back here, still no tech up for C19. They'll be able to go for the shock troopers now, and that could actually give TheTaxman a bit of a headache since his Fortifications are not particularly good versus shock troopers. At least not on their own. So we'll have to see how C19 makes use of his shock troopers. Both fuel points are under control of TheTaxman, but they are not supplied to him, so bit of a pickle there in some ways. Battle group headquarters up. He'll likely going to need an MG34 flak half track to help have a good chance of stop the shock troopers, or he's going to need a lot of elite infantry. Oh, we got the shock troopers head there with the PPSH-41 with its characteristic drum magazine, though by the 1944-45 period they would have replaced that with a stick magazine, since the drum magazine had several disadvantages, one of them just being heavy, but also spring load it fully overloading the fully and intensive, of course, and the spring inside just wear down, so generally, it was considered impractical in a lot of ways. Other shock troopers up engaging the Fortifications routing them. Flak half track on the way there for TheTaxman, so he's going to go for the bigger option here to deal with C19 and the Red Army. Conscripts there supporting the shock troopers assault here. We got grenades off, putting a bit of problem there in TheTaxman's offensive position. They got up close. The Fortifications will have to fall back in the face of the shock troopers. Their PPSH-41 simply too potent against the shock troopers, whose, however delightfully designed greatcoats are absolutely not bulletproof. Sturm punishing with hammer their assault rifles, trying to gun those Russians down, and they do succeed, buying Germany some time here. The question, of course, is in the end how much time. Flak half track is almost done there for TheTaxman. Close but not quite. Contra setting out there for C19, grabbing the fuel point in the east. Back here, reinforcement wave for the medics also being planned there for TheTaxman. No sign of Sturmgewehrs as of yet. And got another push for the cuff point. Flak half track almost done. The 251-17. Of which, by the way, there were several variants. This was just one of many variants of the 251-17 half track. And this one, by the way, was a specific workshop version made for the Hammergöring Fallschirm Panzerdivision in Italy. Just to top it off. The more common ones, I think, by 1944-45 would have been equipped with was known as the flak drilling, which is basically sort of, well, 3 machine guns that were basically previously used in aircraft, but they were being replaced with bigger ones, and so they just sort of slapped them together and used some sort of anti-aircraft, anti-ground target gun. Fun fact. Some were also just mounted on trucks, straight up. Contra right here by the flak half track, hammering away. Sturmpunie up. So now with the flak half track, TheTaxman has a much more solid positioning here, and C19 is going to have to find himself with a bit of a challenge. I mean, he's so far been riding a lot than just infant momentum, but the flak half track can very much throw that off. So he's going to have to go for the support room company. He actually goes for the special rifle command. Can't anticipate that. No idea what C19 is planning then. That's definitely highly unusual. The Germans were quite keen on using the 2 cm flak half of flak there on a lot of things. I mean, there's even in North Africa, you had a small, basically jeep-sized vehicle that mounted the 2 cm flak on it. That's a fun note. But it's common on usage on trucks as well. As that way as an anti-aircraft gun, and later on it was primarily just used against infantry, and the 2 cm flak was increasingly not very good versus air targets. Northern nations there being seized. Shops to the right on the Kedno, almost wiping it out. They're definitely a bad move there for TheTaxman. And the 11th SS, flak half turning up and getting the shops out in the open. Smokes from down though. Nice timing there by C19 there, but kind of forgot the smoke only extends that far. Finding here by the car punt folks there holding up the line, but C19's got constant engineers to flush out the fascist bastards. Shocks was riding by the Fortifications, flak half track with 2 kills. Seizing points in, we got a scout cannon on the way for C19, and this timing. Wow, he is actually planning on carrying a flak half-track with a scout car filled with anti-tank penal troopers. That is literally how he apparently intends to do this. That's a first. I mean, I've seen them go, scout cars and penal troopers combined all the time, but I've never seen someone, specifically at this point in the game, tech for it to specifically counter an enemy light vehicle. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. So that indicates C19 is quite confident in this solution. Heading the southern fuel point here. Taxman struggling with fuel there, which is by the way great, of course, for C19. I mean, he can easily go for the tank command follow up with the T7 and could really put some serious pressure there on Taxman, who, well, is going to struggle a bit. And note, by the way, the Taxman is bringing up several machine guns. First one MD-34, now bringing up the second MD-34. Consequence of the flak half-track here in the south. Anti-tank grenade off, damaging the engine. There you go. As soon as the trap is sprung, he goes in with the half-track here. Or scout car, not half-track. Opening up with the 50 caliber front mount from the front. Of course, the anti-tank rifles. Completely blindsiding Taxman there. A daring and interesting move there by C19. Again, not something you see, I think, most players do, but clearly C19 there was confident. And apparently also confident he wouldn't proceed to then do that, but in the end he lost the scout car. Still, the flak half-track is gone, and that's definitely one issue less there for C19. Of course, that's a fresh issue for Taxman and the German army. So now, while he thought he had stabilised the front line here, C19 was very quick to prove him wrong. Fuel points are very much in control of C19. I mean, he's almost got the fuel for nice too, of course. The thing, and the crucial thing, in fact, is he's far off from being able to call it in because he's only at 5 command points. He'd be better off just taking for like medium armour now, like going for a T-34-16 and trying to push out a KV-8. And he is, I think, trying to stall for nice too. I mean, trying to stall for nice too right now would be a sizable, act of hubris. Shocked was led by the veterans who won 7 kills, giving Taxman towards their bit of a headache. Quick grenade off there. Kind of would figure maybe go for smoke grenade, but Pound decided regular grenade was the better choice there. Back at healing enforcement, no sign of further take up there for C19. I do feel like his lack of teching, while he's got a lot of other good moves going for him, is a bit of a problem for him, and definitely could be something that benefits Taxman in the longer run, who's got the second Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlepper out. Points are being seized, constantly ring about. And still no doctrine bar here for Taxman. I mean, he could go for breakthrough for the Panzer Fusiliers. At this rate, I'm kind of starting to expect maybe just elite armor. Like some extra Panzer shenanigans here versus C19. I mean, he probably at this point has to deuce his opponent's gone for short rifles. I mean, heat rounds and the stuff there could, really help out a ton. There's a nice too, and a KV-8 there. So I feel like elite armor at this point is sort of the logical end point here. Though, I mean, I could be surprised. In there, go control taking up the heavy machine gun fire and assault rifle fire there from Taxman forces. After there is basically just pushing around the shock troopers, allowing other units to deal with it. Very interesting move there by Taxman. Quickly, get out of the way! It's slowly moving towards us. Can't we just shoot the drive? Shoot the driver? No! What are we, barbarians? Well, that's what the Germans call us. Oh, machine there was almost too slow to get before getting wiped out there by the satchel charge. Salvaging here, the scout captain could get that done. 9 goes off there. Also salvaging the flak half track, not bad. He's going to set the spare punch calls, obviously cover the fuel points on the victory point being seized there. Victory points, whilst the Taxman has been struggling with the fuel, he's definitely not been too off with the victory points. C19 is still not taking up here. Definitely should put that as a priority. He's also floating, I think, a bit too manpower there. I'm getting the feeling that C19 is perhaps a bit too overconfident, a bit too, haha, what are you gonna do now, petty fascist? I am in control. That's Communist Stalin is in control, but it is, guy here. I represent Stalin, and lastly, I'm in control for him. So C19, I think, definitely needs to sort of wake up here from the super victory and you get going soon. Otherwise, Taxman is definitely going to catch up with him and proceed to deliver a jackboot straight to, his chin. There you go. Strap Hunt's got up the conscripts. Yes, we're finally getting some tech over there for C19. Really, that is way too delayed. That is way too sloppy. That is definitely something he needs to work on. And of course, one of the best ways you want to improve something in the game is just doing it a lot. Like, try to pay attention, then just do it a lot. Build stuff a lot. Like, try to get better. Keeping in mind there, and you just slowly work and then improving on it. But like, first you just gotta be able to do it properly. Like, just do it in the first place, and then you can sort of work again and just fleshing out, doing it better. Sniper on the way for C19. That's a very late sniper, by the way. But there's the orbital commanders. It can, I guess, kind of work. Still not something you see either. But then again, C19's been going for a lot of things we generally don't tend to see. All the way, take over there, done. And again, I'm assuming he's going to go for the mechanized armor company and push out for some armor there. And he really should. Because I don't think Taxman's going to try and show him any mercy. As soon as he can go for a tank, I think he is. And send the artillery here, hamming the area around the northern fuel point. 380 versus 399. Conscripts peeled range. Now if they're not, trying to outmaneuver and just get closer here, could I think just leave a unit to sort of tie them down and then just move elsewhere and hit the car point, for example. And there you go, mechanized armor company up. I mean, you could have this up much sooner again. Definitely a bit too sloppy play there by C19. Bit too sloppy. Shock troops on the fire there from the Schwerer Panther cut here there with its 30mm flak. Conscripts 9 moving about there. Mines going off. Shock troopers routed because of that. And there you go. We'll have to see what it goes from. And you could go straight away for the T-34-6. You try to up for the KV-8. And certainly KV-8 right now would be rather horrible for Taxman. Since right now Taxman only has a single academy effort to even consider countering the KV-8. And the KV-8 is really good at anti-tank weapons like that. So, I mean, and it certainly sounds to look like he's playing for KV-8. A KV-8 would really just screw over Taxman so horribly. I mean, I have to go for the Panther for the Yak Panther immediately to have a chance to stop it. I mean, you could go for more academies, that can extent work, but it'd also be quite risky and could, result in C19 also getting like academy efforts. So, I mean, he's going to need armor. But is he going for it? I mean, we'll find out in a few seconds. I hope then again C19 has again been in terms of tanking a bit sloppy, so maybe you won't. Nothing there as of yet. Taxman can soon go for the Panther 4. Machine gun opening up here from across the road, rather exposed position against the Russians. Sniper retreating, heavily damaged. Victory points we're looking at 378 versus 375. They're keeping pretty close here, these two. Keeping pretty close. And there we go, KV-8 flamethrower tank all the way there for C19 and the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps. Attachment of the 11th SS still waiting there. Could go for the Panther 4, but it's starting to look like he might need to be aiming for a Panther instead. Possibly again, thinking long term here again, he is up against Shock Rifle. There's could be a KV-8, but obviously it's going to be nice too. And in this case, either way, a Panther's going to work the best versus that. Meanwhile, he's using the Orbitals to then sort of fight the infantry part of the battle there, and of course they can also support the Panzer IV quite well. Consequence Orbitals out in the open, Orbitals on there quite exposed. They need to put in to recover there, or they might risk getting cut to ribbons. And there you go, KV-8 just about to arrive for C19, and the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps on there need to go back now. Shock troops Virginia 2, machine gun opening up, close to Virginia 2 there, follows the rest of conscript up north. Back here, healing reinforcement for Taxman. KV-8 flamethrower tank out. Sniper there with 2 kills. 3 kills, in fact. KV-8's going to give Taxman a headache, but he is going there for the Panther. The Panther can't flag in front, and the Fox is about to get scorched horribly by the KV-8. He's obviously repositioning, but the question is if he's going to just retreat, because, I mean, there's no way he can hold the line anyway here against the KV-8 with just the Kidnap, which is also retreating, by the way. I mean, his entire front line right now is utterly compromised, since he has absolutely no way of stopping the KV-8 without just, you know, losing a lot of units. And even that, of course, that means he's not stopping it. It's like trying to stop a tank by throwing snowballs at it. You're not really stopping it, now are you? But the thing that can actually stop the KV-8, the Panther, is right around the corner. Which corner? Oh, there we go, that corner. Adding the pin-mount machine gun. Well, obviously goes for elite armor to have the heat rounds, though technically the Panther would not have used heat rounds. Heat rounds for a rather low velocity gun to have a better chance of penetrating thicker armor. The Panther's gun, of course, was very high velocity, and so heat rounds were kind of pointless. I mean, heat rounds have been used in stuff like, you know, the low velocity gun in the Panther for that version, for example. But the early Stugs, for example, used to in Operation Barbarossa to help, you know, take on actual KV tanks and T-34s. But there you go, heavy damage to the KV-8 from the Panther, and the supporting Fox gun is there. Pin machine gun almost done. Another hit there. Will he go for the elite armor though in heat rounds now, or will he save that one out here against C19? Panther continues. C19 now getting punished here for... Oh, Minehead went off though. Saving him. Nice work, but he's still going to need some anti-tank guns. There goes active tech for the support company as well, meaning he's actually got all 4 buildings. Sis-3 field on the way to help deal with that Panther. Now the question, of course, is will he stall for the IS-2? Flares going off and other things going off there against the forces forcing a rout here. Panther being hauled back. Fun fact, the 11th SS Panther Gun Division, despite being a Panzer Gun Division, actually had a full Panther Battalion with it. In fact, it was actually able to take it back with it to Berlin once they had to abandon the Baltics, or evacuate from it. The question is, or the story how they got them was a bit more interesting, since technically they did not really have them, or they were not supposed to have them on paper, but what happened was they basically at some point received a load of old Model D Panthers they were supposed to use to dig into, and they use them as Panther troops, you know, that way just, you know, dig them down. And the thing is, the division apparently managed to get them working in, despite, you know, the regular Wehrmacht apparently had ridden them off, so they actually was able to form up their own Panther battalion. So that's a bit of a fun story there about the 11th SS, and well, again, it's Panther battalion was supposed not to really have. Also on here versus the shock troopers. KV-8 being fixed up. Field gun there moving ahead to the front line. I mean, right now, though, Taxman's got a victory point. Need him most of the map here against C19, so he's going to have to do some work here against Taxman and the Germans. Panther being rolled back. Penal troops opening up. Far up north, we got Orbital here versus conscripts. Going to be a loss for C19. I've got shock troops arriving, but the question is, oh, Sniper joining in. Now it could be Taxman losing his Orbital. He's going to lose them. He's going to lose them. They're doomed. They're doomed. Heinz, you're not going to make it back home for Blackburst. Yeah, they're wiped. Bit slow there to retreat. C19 saw an opportunity and seized it. Now we got Fortifications set here from Taxman. Can't anticipate that. Setting up for a howitzer. And Laked never got wiped, so now he actually has no anti-tank weapons. And now C19 has 2. But there you go. Vengeance is here for Taxman for the German arm. The shock troopers will finally be buried. Possibly in these woods. No. Petrov's running. He's running. Can he make it? Yes. He's made. Oh, no, he's not. He's dead. Panther taking heavy damage from the Laked Nerfers and the other anti-tank bombs there. And losing a machine gun team. Taxman is now taking staggering casualties against C19 and the 2nd Arts Mechanized Corps here. Staggering casualties. Not just the Laked Nerfer, but the MG-34 as well. That is big there for C19. At least he's still got the Panther, but he's in a bit of a sticky spot. We got the Howitzer firing. We've got more Orbital Darden, very good. He consistently wants the Orbital Darden until he's firing away here around the centre. Direct here on the anti-tank weapons. KV is also taking some damage here. Oh, both anti-tanking crews wiped out. Might be able to destroy the anti-tankers themselves with it. That actually made up for some of the losses there for TheTaxman. So that was definitely a very nice artillery strike there by TheTaxman. He knew where they was. He also knew they were bunched up, so they had a harder time getting away from there. Excellent work there by TheTaxman. That is some excellent artillerymanship. KV-8 moving northwards here, folks. Need to be careful. Orbs on the way there. And they're done. 10 kills on the howitzer bar. That is some excellent work there by TheTaxman on his first barrage. Back here, troops in reinforcing. C19 certainly looks to be stalling for the IS-2, but he's quite some time away from it now. The Kednev is destroyed. Field gun there is likely going to hit. Oh, stolen this time around. Panther's been heading northwards here to deal with the KV-8 to put an end to it. It's got a damaged engine. Oh, scheisse. What's the couple at, depending on perspective. Oh, wait, Panther's going for it. Flanking up behind. Shoots and misses. And the field gun got wiped out. He hopes on doing what they can. They're going to need a bomb grenade to have a chance, and then that might not be enough. Teams coming in, they're pushing back the Panther. Oh, it's just enough. It's just enough to save the KV-8. A close shave for C19 and the 2nd Arch Mechanized Corps. Sturmpanzer going to back up the Panther here. Good move. Troop ceiling reinforcing. KV-8 there though. Doesn't make it. TheTaxman sees an opportunity, goes for the KV-8. Apologies. KV-8 takes a hit. Can still keep going though. Panthers have veterans 1. And the KV-8 goes up in flames. Forces launching assault here in the cutoff point. Howitzer firing. This time it seems to be straight to the base. Usually one of the least effective forms of barraging because A, you're firing into where you specifically can't see, so it's lost accurate, plus you're firing at max range. We still get some kill there. Not bad, I guess, not bad, but I still feel like somewhat inefficient. I suspect most of the shots won't really hit anything except base building, we just do a bit of light damage. And TheTaxman is losing a full scale squad here. Bit of a blow there. Machine about to get cleared out. Panther moving forward here aggressively. Double field and something now by here for C19 as he's now clearly stalling for the IS-2. Damage engine the Panther. This is horrid here for TheTaxman. This is horrid. Forcing him to spot it, trying to clear out the field gun. The Panthers now get his re-exposed to double field guns. Oh, scheisse. But there you go. Might be able to get away from the field gun before they take it out. Close one though. Close. So little health left on the Panther. Incredibly close save here by C19. I mean, for TheTaxman. C19 keep the other field maybe a bit up pace there. Had something else that Panther would be down, but looks. Oh, he got a wipe on the Fultz gun. It is. C19's almost got no infantry left now. He's got a Fultz gun shot the Sturmpaniers and the others are done. Otherwise, most of his population is in Panther and the Howitzer. Compared to C19's got a much larger force right now. Holy smokes. That is brutal. I mean, right now, though, he needs to use his forces more effectively and try and seize more of the map because right now he's using a large force on a small part of the terrain there, which is allowing TheTaxman to hold a lot more ground, despite not having the force to really hold it. Panther on the way there, hard to find way there. 13 kills still. Orbs about to get wiped out. Down the field gun, very good. Heading northwards is his fuel and the victory point. He's very close to the IS-2. He just needs the fuel, so he actually needs to remember to grab the fuel point and not just the victory point. Hitting the car front as well, very good, very good. Panther almost done, and the Panther is in dire repairs. That thing has seen much better days. Noting Bobby's actually ambushing his field guns as well. Very sneaky, very cheeky, breaky. Not something he's used a lot of, to be honest. And actually means if he goes to the IS-2, he's actually then used every single ability of the dock, meaning he's actually got full doctrinal bingo. By Jove. Compared to the TheTaxman so far, he's only really used the Howitzer. No S-mines, no bunkers, no flak emplacements, tank traps, Pack 43s, or searing artillery. Troops reinforcing, healing. IS-2 is supremely close. He's almost got a fuel loss. He just needs the manpower now. He certainly will find himself in a bit of a chance here with the Panther and the Panther 4 all around. Panther moving out here, straight at the conscripts. Dimitri finds his face blown off there. He's going to pelt it with anti-tank grenade, trying to damage the Indian there, and that's looked like going to happen. Incendiary barracks there forcing up the machine gun here, but he's trying to run up there, getting sneaking up behind the fence with this machine gun there, and a unit gets whacked with the Panther 4. Do not take the orbital command versus Panther 4 lightly, as it has actually more average than the accuracy than the average Panther 4 from the Wehrmacht can actually that way have a good chance of just, doing heavy damage, and particularly at the impediment machine guns. And you need to successfully flank here using the fence of the MG34 and secure the southern victory point there. Very good work. IS-2 very close there for C19. Taxman's Panther is good to go. Panther 4 will need to repairs. 324 versus 288. Conscripts reinforcing. Engineers and conscripts heading northwards. Blah. Apparently can't tell my directions now. Obviously they're popping a bomb grenade on the penal troopers and almost takes out the entire unit. The devastating blow there to C19. There you go. IS-2 is ready. The Josef Stalin 2 heavy tank. Panther opening up the conscripts there. And of course the two field guns hiding about. They could be a bit tricky here for Taxman with this Panther. There you go. Panther tank, and it's going to hit right into the center of the field guns. Oh, he had no screen there, so essentially, while Taxman didn't know, he would essentially just barge into them by accident, completely clearing out C19's ambush position. By accident. That is not good development there for C19. IS-2's moving up. They're good hit on the Panther 4. And the tank grenade there. Not quite in time there. IS-2 moving up. They're taking a penetrating hit from the Panther 4. Panther moving up. Panther 4 almost down. Sturmpanzer is providing backup here. Field gun there. A little health left. Machine needs to get out of there. Panther versus IS-2. Shot bounced off the Panther. Going to tank grenade damages it though. Need to be careful with the IS-2 that it is down to half health versus the Panther, which is also half health, but there's a Panther 4 backing it up there. It's moving too close here, moving too close. Machine gun crew wiped out as well here. Things are looking a bit dicey now for C19 versus Taxman. Machine gun recruit here once more by Taxman and the M136 trying to prepare the IS-2 with engineers. Losing units left and right. Brutal fighting here over the centre between these two formidable players. Down here healing enforcement, and we got the howitzers signing off again. Still at 13 kills. Not really getting much more done now. I think he's trying to catch the IS-2. And presumably he's trying to catch what is being repaired, hoping that C19 is going to be in course repair close to the front line. Oh, crewed it, only to get a wipe again immediately. That was just a waste of manpower there for C19. More Sturmpanzers for Taxman to repair his Panther. Very good job there. He actually got wiped and he lost the Sturmpanzer, what he did. Never mind then. Basically, both sides have to get the tanks repaired. The only difference is C19's actually got the engineers to do it. Taxman's only not got Sturmpanzers again. You should probably back up the IS-2 here with an issue 5 to help deal with the Panther and the Panzer 4. Seizing the centre here, seizing the point here in the south. We've got constant moving ahead. I2's going to need the repairs. Penal troopers versus Obersoldaten. Seizing the southern victory point. Back here, Panther being repaired. Good to go. Panther Horse going to be next. Taxman hauling infantry and heavy weapons up here to hold the centre. Penals are being slowly guarded by the Obersoldaten. Virtually 2. Very good. For Taxman, that's good for C19, whose men will not so much a chance against such hardened veterans. IS-2 almost fixed up, points are being seized, flares exploding, and we got the Panther thing southwards there. T-34's back up, the IS-2 again. I would have figured an SU-5 here, but I can't understand the T-34-76. I can understand it. Much better versus the infantry than the SU-5, obviously, but not quite as good versus the Panther. 303 versus 281. More artillery fire again. He's trying to hope to catch the IS-2. Basically, it's just blind firing, which is usually the least efficient type of artillery. I mean, compared with the first badge, where again, he knew exactly where to shoot and all that. He's just hoping. He's guessing. And guesswork is, in this case, blind guessing. He's not necessarily the best way to, actually hit stuff. Actually got some kills there though, very good. Up to 16 now, eventually 2 as well. Panther versus the IS-2. T-34 arriving. 11 kills on the Panzer Kampfwagen 5. 299 versus 270. Panther will make up to back up the Panther. Machine gun Sturmpanzer nearby. And Taxman's armoured force, he is pretty much starting in the attack here by C19 for the centre. He's going to try and look to outmaneuver Taxman, either hit from the north or from the south, instead of straight through the centre. The question, of course, is will C9 actually have to be flexible enough to do that? And there you go. Directly on the IS-2 on the Panther, but takes a return hit from the Panther. Pilgrims were trying to push through, but again, the machine here backing up the 2 tanks proves to be too much for C19. And his force company in the same bringing to show a few issues here versus Taxman, who does have a slightly more well-rounded force with artillery and machine guns. Comparatively, C19's only got tanks and infantry. John and Lang versus 231. Panther being hit going straight for the IS-2. Using the artillery barrage there to, in its essence, isolate the IS-2 goals open with the artillery does some damage to it. Apparently, it's actually working out there. It's actually working out. The IS-2 is taking heavy damage from the Howitzer and the Panther, putting it down to less than half health. Pushing back C19 here from the calf point, leaving his front line more exposed. And they go direct hit on the T-54 by the Howitzer as well. Panther lands another hit. Howitzer is closing eventually. Feel like I can't consume the Panther. Got the machine coming out the flank. Very nice. Things are starting to fall a bit apart here for the Soviets and the 2nd Guards Mechanized Corps here. Machine gun sitting up there. Orbs on wing from the north. Comes they're taking any fire. Panther raid nearby as well. Panther very close to it 22 here. Oh, there we go. 26 kills. IS-2 need repairs. T-54 also need repairs. Taxman's Howitzer is actually slowly approaching Veteran T3. Very nice, very nice. Damage there on the Panther. All blind firing it seems here. IS-2 mobilised again. Another T-54 for C19. Down 190 versus the 299 of Taxman and Germany. Panther's actually getting very close to veteran free in terms of, well, veterancy, which is obviously good for Taxman, but another mounting issue here for C19 and the Red Army. IS-2 pushing back the Fultoners there with a nice hit. Panther going for it. Up north fighting here for the victory. Fuel point is running into it as the Orbital and the Fultoners are putting up quite a fight here for C19's conscripts. 2nd T-54 is almost down to C19. Can he make the push that will break Taxman and lead to glorious victory for the Soviet peoples? Or will he simply just fall apart? Watch and find out, I guess. Panther there flanking, closing and matching 3. IS-2 T-54 attacking northwards, backed up the mountain by the other T-54 soon enough. IS-2 they've been flanked by the Panther. Panther 4 moving in. Panther making great use of his range, which was one of the Panther's assets thanks to this gun. I mean, it didn't just yet have great penetration, also had good range and good accuracy. All due to the same thing, which is basically high velocity. T-54 there taking heavy damage. T-54 ramming on the Panther 4s. Artillery raining down. T-54 kaput. Panther shoots, bounces off the IS-2's armour. Artillery fire raining off close to the IS-2. Panther 4 trying to get away here. Panther shoots, almost got it. Panther so close to the ace level, or the veteran fleet. Ace level is obviously 2 more loads of veterans away. T-54 down. Panther shoots, bounces. IS-2 gains veteran 2 increased range and accuracy. Panther shoots, bounces again. There you go. Penetrates. And with this, C19 surrenders. A loss here for the Red Army. A victory for Germany. A victory for Deutschland. Glory. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Overall lessons, I know. Don't overfocus on the centre. Remember to keep, flanking parts and other manoeuvres in mind. And keep your force composition in mind as well. In this regard, one of TheTaxman's major aces was just he had a more flexible force for machine guns and artillery, whereas the only time C19 had machine guns when he sees them from his opponents. So I think had he gone for some more options there, he probably could have fared better on the longer run. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell your family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. You all a wonderful audience. Hope till tomorrow again for a nice long episode. Bye.